Welcome. In this video, let's get comfortable with Linux, understand its distributions, learn how to use Linux within Windows, and cover some its essential commands. Linux is an open-source operating system, loved by scientists and developers for its stability and flexibility. A Linux distribution, or distro, is a packaged version of Linux that bundles the core system with additional softwares. Each distro has its own strengths and community. Common distros you might encounter: Arch Linux. It's minimal and gives users full control and expect them to configure everything themselves. Ubuntu. It's user-friendly and very popular for beginners and researchers. Debian. It's a stable and community-driven Linux and basis for many other distros, like Ubuntu. Fedora, a cutting-edge and showcasing latest Linux technologies and often serving as a testing ground for future Red Hat Enterprise Linux features. Many of the bioinformatics tools are run on the Linux, especially in NGS data analysis. But if you are not using a Linux machine, no worries. You can still run Linux comfortably on Windows in a few ways. The easiest way for most of the users is using Windows Subsystem for Linux, or WSL. It lets you run real Linux distributions like Ubuntu directly inside Windows without needing a separate computer or a complicated setup. The installation is like this. Right-click on the Windows logo and click on Run. Now here write PowerShell. In Windows PowerShell, here write WSL -- install. The Linux distribution that it's installing is Ubuntu. When installation is completed, after a quick setup, you can launch Linux terminal and start working. Now it needs a username. Alright, deep health learning, for example. And it needs a password. I give a password. Again, write your password. So now our installation is completed. When you see the $sign here, so it means you are in the Linux terminal. Now I write pwd, which is a Linux command, and showing your working directory to you. And now we can see the command is working. So we are in the Linux distribution, we are in Ubuntu, and everything works good. So I write exit, and now I'm out of Linux. And you can see here, you cannot see the $sign. Now click on Windows logo, left click, and in recommended you can see we have a new application with name of Ubuntu. If you cannot see the Ubuntu here, in the search toolbar, you can search Ubuntu. And here you have two options, open it or run as administrator. So open it. It will open a terminal, which is a terminal for Linux. So we can see the $sign, which means you are in the Linux terminal. For example, if I write pwd again, which is a command of Linux, I see the results. So close it. Now let's see the Ubuntu folders. If you open File Explorer, at the left toolbar, you can see we have a new option, Linux. And if you click on it, you can see two folders, which they are related to the Ubuntu. If you process any analysis with your Linux, the files will be located here. For most, WSL is the easiest way to get started. The second way to have Linux on your Windows is to use softwares like VirtualBox or VMware to run Linux in a virtual computer inside your Windows. In Google, you can search, for example, VirtualBox. The first link is Oracle VirtualBox. Click on Downloads and accept and download. Now the application is downloading. Click on it. This is the environment of Oracle VirtualBox. You can click at New, and here you can, for example, write the name of the Linux, or I name test Linux. Now in folder, this is the folder you want to install, and in ISO image, if you see, you need ISO image of Ubuntu. So now let's download it. Again, go back to browser and in Google, search for Ubuntu. This is the website of Ubuntu. Click on download. You can see different types of Ubuntu for desktop or also for server. Click on desktop. The file is 5.9 gigabyte. Click on download. So it's huge. It takes a while to download. When the file downloaded, come back here and choose the file from here. The file is in, if you see the file, the type of file is disk image file. And everything goes automatically. In the second page, you have to name a username. I change the username, for example, user1. And you have to assign a password to this username. I give a password and repeat your password. And here you can see a warning in hostname. It's because of the space between test and Linux. Delete this test and everything goes well. Next page is hardware. Here you can choose how many RAM you want to use for your Linux. The default is 2 gigabytes, so you can give it more or less. It depends on your usage. Also processors, you can choose how much processors core you want. I left it 1. In the next page, it's about hard disk, how much hard disk you want to assign to this Linux. The default is 25 gigabytes. I left it 25, but for most of the NGS data analysis, you need minimum 200 gigabyte storage. Now click on finish. And it's starting to install and process the Linux on your Windows. It takes a while to complete. Click on try or install Ubuntu. This is the Ubuntu environment or desktop. Now be patient because the installation should be complete. And it takes maybe 20 minutes or more to complete this installation. I make the video here for installation faster. For you, it should take more. When the installation is finished, it's better to restart your system. Not system, just the Ubuntu. Okay, now click on user and give your password. Now this is the Linux desktop environment. This is good if you want a full Linux desktop experience. With Ctrl-Alt-T, open a terminal. Let me to make it bigger. Now let me to introduce some essential Linux commands. The first command is pwd, which shows us our current directory. Now is home user 1. The second command is ls, which shows us a list of files or folders in the directory. Or we can write ls-l, which gives us more information about these files. With cd prompt, you can change the directory. For example, now I want to change the directory to downloads. And if I press tab, it will predict. If I write ls, there is nothing in downloads folder. Now with mkdir, which is abbreviation for make directory, write a new directory here and name it deephealth training. And if I write ls, I can see we have one folder in this directory, which user 1 created at this time. With Ctrl-L, you can clean your terminal. Now, with nano, you can open or create a command line text editor and name it test.txt and write this is a test. With Ctrl-O, you can save it. Here, enter this name test.txt And with Ctrl X, exit this page. Now, if I write ls, I can see one folder, deep health running, and one file, one text file, test.txt. Let's see it in the directories. Now let me move test file to the deep health running folder using mv command. First, which file I want to move or cut, and second, where I want to cut it. Now I can see test file is in the deep health running folder. You can also use mv command to rename the files. Now in documents, we can see it's empty. I want to copy test file to the documents. With cd prompt, I can change the directory to deep health running. With tab, it will predict automatically. And now using cp prompt, I can copy test.txt deep health running folder. 2 dots means previous folder. And again, 2 dots means 2 previous folders. Let's see here. We are here, and 1 previous and 2 previous. And now I want to copy it in documents directory. Let's see it. In documents, we can see test.txt is pasted here. Now let me to change directory to documents. If you write cd here without nothing, you will direct it to the home directory. Now here write cd and documents. Now we are in documents. If you write ls, you can see one file, one text.txt file in documents. R and W means you can read it and you can write to it. And also if it has X, means you can execute this file. Now let's remove test.txt from documents. With rm command, you can remove it. In documents, see, nothing is here. It's deleted. Again, change directory to deep health running folder, which is in one folder before, downloads and deep health running. Now we are in deep health running. Write ls, and using cat prompt, cat test.txt, cat prompt will display the content of this file. So here, this is a test. If you are not familiar how a prompt works, using man prompt, and after that, for example, I don't know how cat works, I write man cat, and I can see the manual of the cat prompt here. Different options that I have to use for this prompt. Everything is right here, also copyright. And using Q, you can exit from this page. Using sudo, you can run an application or software with an administrator privilege. It's like run as administrator in Windows, and it needs your password. It doesn't show your password, but it works. Or I can write sudo shutdown, which will shut down the PC and shut down now, or shut down plus shut down in, for example, 10 minutes, or shut down in, now is 10:13, in 10:50. Also, you can write sudo power off is the same, and it will shut down this PC. Sudo reboot will reboot or restart your system. And with exit, you exit the terminal. You can also shut down from here. That's it for your Linux basics. In the next video, we will start our RNA-seq data analysis. Don't worry if you're new. Practice Elite and it all starts to feel natural. Drop questions in the comments and let's take the next step together.